The Zephyrian delegation materialized on the observation deck of Station Alpha 7 in a shimmer of blue energy, their crystalline forms catching the light of 3 distant suns. Ambassador Kethvar's prismatic face shifted through colors of contempt as he surveyed the human representatives. "So these are the famous humans," he said, his voice resonating like wind chimes in a storm. "The species that thinks it can negotiate with the Zephyrian Empire." Jackson Martinez stepped forward, his worn maintenance coveralls a stark contrast to the aliens' gleaming forms. Beside him, Dr. Lily Chen adjusted her tablet, her expression carefully neutral despite the insult. "Welcome to our station," Jackson said simply. "We're here to discuss the mining rights to the Kepler system." Kethvar's form flickered with what passed for amusement among his people. "Mining rights? You primitives barely understand the elements you seek to extract. This is a formality the Council has already decided. You will accept our terms or face the consequences." The terms were brutal. Humanity would surrender all claims to 90% of the system's rare earth deposits, provide free labor for Zephyrian operations, and submit to guidance in all technological development. In return, they would be allowed to keep their homeworld and a handful of colonies. "The offer is generous," added Subcommander Yathal, her tone suggesting anything but generosity. "Most species receive far less after disappointments." Lily looked up from her calculations. Her voice was quiet, almost conversational. "Don't push it." The Zephyrians exchanged glances, their forms cycling through what Jackson recognized as their equivalent of laughter. Kethvar's crystalline structure brightened with condescension. "Push what, little human? Your patience? Your primitive emotions?" He stepped closer, looming over the small research station director. "You have no ships, no weapons that could threaten us. Your entire fleet couldn't scratch the hull of one of our dreadnoughts. What exactly should we fear from pushing?" Jackson felt the familiar tightness in his chest, the same feeling he'd had when the foreman told him the mining station on Ceres was impossible to repair, when the Corps engineers said the gravity well around Proxima was too dangerous to navigate. He glanced at Lily, seeing the same calculating look she'd had right before she'd solved the faster-than-light communication problem that everyone said was theoretically impossible. "The physics," Lily said simply. Yathal's form rippled with what might have been confusion. "Physics? Child, we have mastered physics for millennia before your species discovered fire." "Have you?" Lily's fingers moved across her tablet with practiced precision. "Because according to my readings, you're using quantum field manipulation to maintain your energy-based forms in our reality." "Very elegant, actually. The power requirements must be enormous." Kethvar waved a crystalline appendage dismissively. "Your point, primitive." "This station sits at the gravitational nexus of 3 star systems," Jackson said, understanding flooding through him as he watched Lily work. "The tidal forces alone would tear apart most structures. Which is why we built it here," Lily continued, her voice still maddeningly calm. "See, humans are very good at building things that shouldn't work in places where nothing should survive. It's kind of our specialty." "Enough games," Kethvar snapped. "Accept our terms or—" "The station's core generates a localized gravity field to counteract the tidal stresses," Lily interrupted. "But that field can be adjusted, inverted actually. Instead of creating a stable pocket of spacetime, it could create a localized temporal distortion field." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Yathal's form flickered uncertainly. "You're bluffing. Such technology is beyond your capabilities." Jackson smiled grimly. "Ma'am, you just told us we barely understand the elements we mine." "You know what we mine out here?" "Exotic matter. The kind of stuff that makes physicists wake up in cold sweats." "And I'm not just any physicist," Lily added, finally looking up from her tablet. "I'm the physicist who figured out how to make quantum entanglement work across galactic distances. The one who solved the dark energy equation. The human who made our impossible civilization possible." Her finger hovered over the tablet's surface. One tap and the temporal distortion field activates. Your energy-based forms will be caught in a localized time differential. From your perspective, you'll experience several thousand years of isolation in the space of minutes. Your molecules will decay, your consciousness will fragment, and you'll die very, very slowly. The sunset of the primary star cast long shadows through the observation deck's windows, painting everything in shades of amber and red. Kethvar's form had dimmed considerably. You wouldn't, he whispered. The field would affect you as well. Nope, Jackson said cheerfully. Humans are matter-based. We're tied to linear time. We'd be fine. I'd get a little dizzy, but that's about it. You're insane, Yathal breathed. We're determined, Lily corrected. There's a difference. We didn't claw our way up from a hostile planet, survive ice ages and plagues and wars, just to roll over for the first bully who shows up with fancy technology. The silence stretched taut. Through the windows, the system's second sun began to set, casting the station in deeper shadows. New terms, Lily said finally. Equal partnership in the mining operation. Technology sharing goes both ways. And you treat us as equals, not pets. Keithavar's form was barely luminous now. And if we refuse? Lily's finger moved a fraction closer to the tablet. Then you'll have several thousand subjective years to think about whether that was a smart choice. The Zephyrian ambassador looked at his subordinate, then back at the two humans who had somehow turned a negotiation into a death trap. His form began to stabilize, cycling through colors of resignation. The Empire will consider your proposal. As the alien delegation prepared to teleport away, Jackson couldn't help but grin. Lily? Yeah? Remind me never to push it with you either. Her answering smile was sharp as a blade. Smart man. The last rays of sunset faded from the observation deck, leaving only the steady glow of human determination lighting the darkness of space.